So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So thank you for coming in and watching our Lunch and Learn today. We are Kuker-Ranken. My name is Brady Reisch. I am the virtual design and construction reality capture specialist. And my job is robotics. All the drones, all the robotic dogs from air, land, and sea. So today we're going to be talking about the land portion. So specifically, we want to bring up the ANYmal system. So it's ANYmal. So it is pronounced as the ANYmal. This thing is amazing. It is an industrial inspection tool. It goes into many, many different hazardous environments. And when you don't want to send a human in, send the robot dog in, right? So the great thing about this specific system with the ANYmal is that it's actually waterproof down to 3 meters for 90 minutes. So you have a lot of time that the ANYmal can actually sit underwater. Not that you're going to get useful data out of that with the scanning system. That's going to be for another Lunch and Learn. However, the ANYmal is absolutely able to handle that type of situation. So if it gets caught underwater, if it has to get through the water in order to get to the area of concern for the inspection, it is going to be fine. Decontamination processes, everything is going to be great with the ANYmal. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. So the ANYmal has been developed for the last 10 years by a company called ANYbotics. And this is the very first one in the United States. We're very excited to bring it to you guys, and we're happy to do demonstrations as well if you would like one. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. So of course, with our autonomous robotic inspection tool, this will be great for construction sites, for any sort of a hazardous environment for surveying, for mining environments, oil refineries, gas refineries. There's lots and lots of different ways that we can skin a cat here. But what I'd like to talk about is the different types of payloads that we do have. So we have customized ours with a scanning system. So we have the BLK ARC system from Leica. This allows us to get a high definition laser scan of the area. So if we need to do an as-built or look at current conditions, we are scanning all this information. Now you no longer have to have someone out in the field with a measuring tape trying to figure out where everything is, the doors, the windows, the eaves, and just everything. And if you're anything like me, you can't read your own handwriting. So having a digital twin is a must-have in this day and age. So along with the ARC system, we also have the inspection payload system that's set up. So we have an optical zoom camera that allows us to zoom in very far to different sorts of any areas of concern for our inspection. We have a very bright light as well, extremely bright, so we can autonomously turn this on. So we don't have to do it from the robot or from the controller. We can do it from different aspects on how we control him. We also have a thermal camera as in here, and we also have essentially a sound listening device. So it's listening for different types of frequencies. Many different hazardous sites have different types of frequencies for different types of alarms. And sometimes people need to be notified and sometimes not. You can customize the ANYmal in order to give you that specific notification for whatever frequency it's supposed to be looking at. As we're looking around the front, we see we have a camera for the ANYmal itself, and we also have the obstacle avoidance sensors that are now pointed at the bottom with those 3 cameras. This allows us to look at a depth map and understand that there are things around the ANYmal itself. So along with having the camera on the front, we also have the same thing on the rear. So we have another camera with the depth sensors to understand the obstacle avoidance. And then we also have on the sides, we have additional sensors so that we have obstacle avoidance 360 degrees around the ANYmal itself. Now, you'll see we have a couple other things attached to this right now. We have the Fox Fury Rugos that are attached to our ANYmal directly. So the reason why we have this on here is the ARC system that we have from Leica allows us to scan an area, but it uses Viz technology and looks at the actual cameras to help bring all of the scans together. Well, in challenging environments where you do not have very much light, we need to artificially light it up. So this is our current solution, and we are working on a few other options as well. So I'm sure you guys are done with me talking about it, and you'd like to see the ANYmal in action and see something actually happening, right? Let's get this boy up here. So we'll go ahead and turn him over and say, standing.
Standing.
So now our animal is fully operational. We are able to operate the animal from 3 different locations, from the laptop system to control the system. We can use it with a cellular device or a tablet. We can also use the HBC, which is a crane operating control system that allows us to operate the animal very easily. So this is a very easy operation. It's not necessarily a tutorial, but we've got a single stick operation to move the animal around. Let's go ahead and push him forward. Let's just check him going reverse, stepping right, stepping left, and we also have a twisting action for our yaw. And that's it. It's not difficult to drive the animal at all. Anybody can do it, and that's the whole idea. So let's go ahead and move him around a little bit. You know, why do we use an animal instead of a human? Well, sometimes we have safety concerns or hazardous environments. Let's go ahead and walk over here to the side. We've got some little bit of aggregate. And we can set the animal to walk around and just climb over wherever he wants. What makes this a little bit unique between some of the other robotic quadrupedal robots is that there's no additional settings or different types of modes you have to change them into. So as an example, we can walk over a curb in any direction, and he will look and see and move around that environment. Let's push him around a little bit more. He will step up and over things that are about 13 inches high. Let's go ahead and walk him down. Oh, I see a curb down here over by the road. Let's walk him over by the curb and see what he's going to do. There we go. So we just transitioned into concrete, and you'll see there's nothing that's changing through the system. There's no mode change. Oh, and we see a curb. Normally, with other quadrupedal robots, we would have to stop. But in this case, the animal is able to operate up and down curbs with ease. So you'll see a lot of the other quadrupedal robots, you have to move forward and reverse over the top of curbs in order to climb. But uniquely enough, with the animal, we are able to sidestep up and down. So it's able to look at the different terrain and walk around very, very easily. Let's go ahead and put him back to where we had him here. We've got our obstacle avoidance on, so we'll turn that off. He's walking a little bit slow next to me. Let's put him back over on this side. We're going to put him right where he was before. You know, and another huge unique factor for the animal is actually that he is fully autonomous. So we have a low resolution LiDAR scanner on the back that allows us to scan its environment and understand when things are in its way. However, what's going to happen is once he understands the area, once he's walked it before, he can walk it again. So we just set it up like a waypoint, just like a drone or any sort of a waypoint mission on a lot of our different robotics. So why don't we go ahead and do something autonomous and let him walk from step A to step B. So I'm going to step right over to the side. We have it on our laptop that's already pre-programmed. I'm going to enable the feature, and we will walk around right over to this pad. So if you give me just one moment, I'm going to walk away from the camera here. Now, as you are looking at the animal itself, you will notice each of the legs have 3 actuators. So those 3 actuators allow us to sidestep and move around versus some of the other traditional quadrupedal robots. So with each of those actuators, you're looking at about 2,000 pounds per square inch. So make sure you don't stick your fingers anywhere that they don't belong. Now, what we're going to do is we're set up in an autonomous mode. We currently have localized, so we've already scanned this area with the low resolution LiDAR scanner. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to move to a specific point. Now, there's a few other options that we can change here. Right now, we're in what's called a blind mode. This just means it doesn't see anything in its way. We can adjust that to stop and move or try to navigate around an object. So now we're all set. Let's go ahead and move straight here. So if you walk back over to the animal here, we'll see him moving. And as I'm walking out, you'll notice I'm not holding anything except for our microphone here. So because he's in a blind mode, he just ignores any objects and he tries to maneuver and navigate on top and over something. So he knows that there was something in its way and he's trying to move up and over. So he was moving autonomously with absolutely no input from the operator, which means this can be operated at any time of the day. If you'd like him to inspect your site at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when no one's there, you absolutely have that ability to do so. So one last thing that I'd really like to show you guys is that with the ANYmal, we're going to take back control with our controller here. I'm going to move him around and you will see once I move him back towards us, I'm going to turn him. I'm going to grab onto him and I'm going to shake him. Well, let's see what happens. What is he going to do at this in this case? We're going to grab, never grab inside. We're going to push him around and do. Just like God, he doesn't want to tip over. He doesn't want to show you loosely. He wants to stay upright, which means we have hazardous environments or anything in our way. He will attempt to combat that as much as he's able to. So with those very powerful actuators through all 3 legs, he's able to accomplish this. And with the gyroscope, he's able to keep himself upright. He is very, very modular, which means we can add different types of payloads to this. Currently, we have the ARC system, as we discussed earlier, with a high-resolution scanner. This is a SLAM system, which allows us to move as we map. We can integrate a higher resolution image sensor, such as an RTC 360. In that case, we are limited by that sensor to stop and capture. But there are many other things we can add to this. We can change the inspection payload to be an articulating arm that comes down and can grab things. It also has a camera in it. So if you need to remove debris from a hazardous environment and you don't want to send people in, send the robot dog, go grab it and yank it back out. So you can also operate this anywhere around the world. You can add an optional 5G module in order to operate this, say in Australia from the United States or vice versa. Doesn't really matter. As long as you have that cellular connection, you've got full access to control this ANYmal. So it's a great thing to have. It's a great tool, industrialized. This is much, much more ruggedized than anything else you've already seen. So we'd love to show you more of this information and give you any personal demonstrations. So what I'll say is anything that you guys have, make sure to reach out to us. We will have our moderator entering my information into chat. If you've got any additional questions, we'd be happy to answer them. So I'm going to be looking at my phone for just a second to see if there's any chats, or if anyone pipes up, we can get a few more things answered for you. So while we are waiting for more of this information, what I'll say is the robot dog can either be plugged in manually with a cable, or it actually has a docking station. So underneath the nose, there's a little cone. It'll go sit on that and autonomously dock whenever you send them up for those types of missions. So you don't have to have an operator around in order to charge the ANYmal. And speaking of charging, while we're waiting for a few questions to come through, the total time in order for the ANYmal to be running is about an hour and a half. We've been experiencing about an hour and 45 minutes with our current battery.
Brady, let's see how well the dog obeys commands.
All right,
let's have him stand up and beg here.
All right. I'll move my phone, so we've got our microphone here. So while this looks like it's interesting, or that it might not have a benefit for use, there's actually use to be able to manipulate the dog itself. So the rear scanning system is always going to be searching around in a sense. When we point it up, we'll be scanning upwards. If we point downwards, we'll be scanning the concrete itself. So there are several different modes.
Brady, can we see him crawl, please?
Let me go ahead and adjust here.
We've got a customer who's got, say, a sewer pipe or a city that needs to inspect the culvert. We put him into crawl mode. Can you do that one-handed there?
There he is. So we've got our rest here, and we'll put him right up to our crawl mode. So if you have anything that's low, oh, he's going to stand all the way up, and let's go back down to a rest or a crawl. There we go. There we go.
To put that at a height, I'm going to shoot this up against your knee so folks can see that even the arc is down below your knee level.
Yep.
Get down into those culverts and so on and so forth.
Any small area that you need to get into, the ANYmal is able to operate in. So it does go into slower rates, but if it's small area, you have to send somebody in. Turn it on. Don't send it in.
How about we put him down to sit, Brady?
Sitting.
Sitting. We have a question about how do you handle flowing water? I wished we had the water video queued up or the snow video. Brady, you want to address that really quickly?
Absolutely. So the ANYmal itself will handle different amounts of water coming at it. It is able to, of course, be fully submergible, so the ANYmal itself will not have an issue. The question becomes how much current is it able to handle? And at this point in time, well, in Las Vegas, we don't have a lot of current. A lot of areas that we can test that out. So I'm sorry, I don't have a figure for you right now. But if you reach out to me, I'm sure we can get information from Antibiotics.
There is also a video on the Kuker-Ranken Lunch and Learn and Kuker-Ranken video site that shows the animal in a slow-moving river over in Europe. I don't know what the current, how many gallons per minute we're flowing through, but certainly handled itself just fine in that environment.
Absolutely. Remember that does not float.
Yeah, it weighs about 110 pounds, folks. So depending on how you got it configured, but so calculate about 110 pounds total.
And what other questions do we have?
That's for the moment. Looks like our moderator's embedded one of the snow videos for people to see there. So they'll be able to see that. How about we standing back up and we'll just sort of walk him across the street as we wrap up our lunch and learn for today. Folks, this is your last opportunity to ask questions. Standing.
All right. Let's go ahead and walk with the animal just so we know who's going to come in and take out the dog as we fly. Down, right, make sure it's not going to get hit by anything, just like you keep your children. Look both ways for crossing traffic. There we go. We are like PDAs for the UCLF Surveyor Conference, and we are happy to show you if you are here, and we are able to give you live demonstrations. If you need a live demonstration somewhere else, surely make sure to reach out and let us know, and we are happy to accommodate that.
So one of the questions that we just had come up is how can he handle rocky or loose terrain? I wish we had some of that here because Angel, to answer your question, I'll tell you what, Brady, this isn't loose terrain or anything, but let's take it over here into this. It's a good steep flower bed if you were to walk over that way. Oh, there's some big rocks, sure enough. I just put him through that.
He's got also wings to off. We just want to stop.
So you really struggle to see that on the video here as I'm watching it along with y'all. But this is a pretty good slope. It's probably 12 degrees or so as it goes up that terrain. You can see right here, it's managing the terrain just fine. And curb. You want to walk him so they can see the split terrain? There we go. So one thing that the animal can do that its competitors and so forth cannot do is it can walk on uneven surfaces just like this that you're seeing here, Angel. You're welcome. So he's got one leg, about 6 and 8 inches higher than the other set of legs as he's walking across that. And here he's going back and forth between concrete and the grass. And as you see, it's going to show off 360 here on both. I think that's it for questions, Brady. We'll give it 30 seconds more, and then we'll call her done.
Just because robotics, we want to make sure that everybody maintains a safe distance. It is just that there's a 2-meter distance away from anybody who's not currently in that operation. And with that, if any of the robot do come out of control, there are some emergency procedures that we can issue or commands. So there's a red button on the animal itself. If we were to put this down, it would just collapse down to the ground. We also have an emergency stop on the HPC as well. If we were to push this button in, same thing, just remote operation. And the third stop button we have is on the top, which is a protective stop. And this just allows us to set him down slower than just dropping down to the ground.
Okay, anything to share with our folks as we exit our today's lunch and learn?
All right. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for our lunch and learn today. Make sure to reach out if you've got any additional questions, and we'll make sure to address any of those questions that you might have. And with that, thank you so much for joining, and make sure to visit us every week for more lunch and learn topics. These are a quick 20 to 25 minute video that we will give you information on new topics and new equipment that we have available to us, and it's in the